though, on this President's Day, you have a new piece in the New York Times that's looking at a new survey ranking U.S. presidents. You write in part this: President Biden has not had a lot of fun perusing polls lately. He has a lower approval rating than every president going back to Dwight D. Eisenhower at this stage of their tenures, and he trails former President Donald J. Trump in a fall rematch. But Mr. Biden can take solace from one survey in which he is way out in front of Mr. Trump. A new poll of historians ranks Mr. Biden as the 14th best president in American history, just ahead of Woodrow Wilson, Ronald Reagan, and Ulysses S. Grant. While that may not give Mr. Biden a spot on Mount Rushmore, it certainly puts him well ahead of Mr. Trump, who places dead last as the worst president ever. And in the 6 o'clock hour, I made a gratuitous mention of Chester A. Arthur. This is where I will ask you. This is where I will.
Did his supporters call you?
Yeah, I'm still waiting by the phone. I hope you'll mention Franklin Pierce at some point in your mention here, another overlooked president. Yeah. But tell us about this ranking here and why historians ranked. I mean, 14th, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What were the reasons?
Yeah. By the way, I can make a good case for Chester Arthur. I think he's underrated. Look.
That'll be in our 10 o'clock hour.
I mean, every president is appealing to two constituencies. One, of course, is the American public, because you don't get to be president unless you get their support. But the other is history. Every single president, of course, has his eye, and eventually her eye, on where they are in history and what mark they're going to leave. This president, of course, saw himself at one point as another FDR. We could argue about that. But he wanted to make his mark. And so to have this poll, I think, is a little bit gratifying. Now, can you genuinely measure an incumbent president's place in history when he's not even done? Of course not. His place in history will depend in part on whether he wins this fall or not. If he loses this fall and ushers Donald Trump back into the presidency, that will definitely affect historians' view of his presidency. But in any case, what it says is that they are respecting him for having ousted Trump in the first place and trying to restore the presidency and the country to a certain degree of normalcy. And it also says something about Donald Trump, of course, is that he's dead last. They do not consider him they consider him even worse than James Buchanan, Franklin Pierce, and the other sort of 19th century, failures who got us into the Civil War and mismanaged it afterwards.
John Meacham just called the control room and lobbied for James K. Polk to be in the top 10. We should know, for the record, the top 5 in order: Lincoln, FDR, Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, Thomas Jefferson, and Caddy. A final note: I recall there was one of these surveys a few years ago when it came out, also had Trump last, and the descendants of James Buchanan, who traditionally is ranked last, were thrilled and gave interviews saying, finally, we're not bringing up the rear anymore.
Franklin Pierce is a direct antecedent of Barbara Bush.
Yes, that's true. That is exactly right.
Trivia.
I've been to the Franklin Pierce homestead in New Hampshire. I will admit that in the safety of this.
That's right.
I went to his grave there.
Yeah, I have as well, Peter. I got you next.
It's a very geeky group here.
Let's go from history